guys, welcome back to Modern Polygyny. I'm Ray.
I'm Prince.
And on this channel, we discuss polygyny and relationships in general. We encourage, uplift, and support people who are involved in this lifestyle and people who have a genuine curiosity about this lifestyle. We will not debate or go back and forth with you because this is a lifestyle that we chose for our family. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing our experience courting in polygyny.
So just a little background about us is we've been practicing polygyny for the past 4 years. And, this video is going to detail maybe just a few of our relationships. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy. We haven't had any real crazy bad experiences or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But they're still interesting.
Right.
So stay tuned. Mm-hmm. So how our first relationship went, in this video, we're not going to say any names or anything like that to keep, everything private. Right. But for our first relationship, it was cool. I really vibed with her, and she's smiling because we're going to get into what happened with that. But, everything was good. We were talking for a while, and, we were vibing and everything like that. And it came time for, us to get ready to meet her. For her to actually come down here to Florida to spend time with us, and some interesting things happened.
They were just vibing too much for me, and I couldn't handle it. It was I couldn't believe this was going on. I really just needed a minute, and instead of saying and communicating, I need a minute, y'all, can I take a breather, real quick? I started throwing a tantrum. And it was not good.
Yeah, she threw a whole tantrum.
I threw a tantrum, and then it was just over after that. It couldn't work after that. Right. So I suggest, if you're feeling like you need a breather or you need a minute, communicate that with your husband. Because I feel like that relationship could have worked out good.
Yeah, I feel like it could have.
I think it really could have.
And as and like she said, if you're feeling like this, throwing a tantrum's not the right thing to do.
No.
But communication, it really could have been a conversation. I was going to say an easy conversation, but I don't know how easy it would have been. But it could have been a conversation.
Yeah.
And, we could have pumped the brakes a little.
Right.
To accommodate everybody.
Right.
Because she was actually willing to, she always asked, she always wanted to know how she was doing and how she felt about everything. And,
right.
She was really good. I feel like she was really good for our situation.
I think so too.
But
if I just could have communicated a little bit better with him and her, I think it could have worked out nicely. But yeah, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah. And she just, when I say she threw a tantrum, listen, it got very interesting. It was ugly. I had to call my friends, yo, bro, you ain't gonna believe what's going on. I can't believe she act like this, and she's going through all this. We never had issues like this ever before. But yeah, it happened.
Emotions can really get in the way.
Yeah.
So just communicate. That's a lesson we learned in that one.
Yes. And since then, she has gotten a lot better. We've never had any issues since then.
Yeah.
And I think, I want to keep going on with this one because it was a whole learning process for us within this whole polygyny thing.
Right.
She said she threw the tantrum. Me being the husband that I am, I was like, you know what, babe? There ain't no need for, you could have just communicated and said X, Y, and Z. But you know what? I explained to, I don't want to say her name, but I explained to her, what was going on. And, so she fell back. And
fell all the way back.
Yeah, she fell all the way back. Just really, like I said, just because the communication wasn't good, and how Ray decided to go about it at the time. Mm-hmm. And I actually, I fell back too from the whole polygyny situation. I wasn't even looking or seeking for anyone after that. I was like, you know what, I'm not going through this again.
Right.
And a few months went by. And Ray was like, hey, I don't want you not to do it.
Right.
And she's like, this is something that we have to get better at. And, I tried to see if there's anything that I could do to make it easier on her to help, to help her with this. Mm-hmm. And she did a lot of work on herself as well. And she felt like she was fully prepared for this before we got into a situation. So it wasn't like, oh, we just did it. And, you know, she felt like she was fully prepared. I've asked many a times. And, you know, I kind of thought she was too.
Yeah.
Until,
you think you are until it happens.
Yeah, once you get into it, then you're like, oh,
story.
you're like, wait, hold up. Like,
that's why it's so important to have support. Somebody that you can call, you know, and you can lean on when.
Right, and that's what our channel's here for. You know, reach out to us if you need to. Right. So that's just like our, you know, our first relationship.
Yeah, that was the first encounter.
So now for our second relationship, that one.
I don't know if it was really a relationship yet, but.
Yeah, we're getting to know her.
Yeah.
The second one wasn't really a relationship. We're just really getting to know her.
Yeah.
And, you know, we took our time with that one. And, you know, we were talking on the phone for like months. And what I really liked is that Ray and, you know, and her used to communicate often. Like, probably, I would say more than I communicated with her.
Yeah.
But I like that, though, you know, like.
I love her so much still.
Yeah, we still talk about her.
Yeah.
I mean, not talk about her. Yeah, talk to her.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally, you know, we'll talk to her and she'll call us or reach out, you know, Father's Day and or sometimes just out of the blue, she'll hit us up or and vice versa. Yeah. But I would consider her a friend. Like she's really a friend at this point. Now. So like even you know, it doesn't matter what situation we're in, we would still keep her as a friend. Yeah. And to go into detail about what happened with that whole situation, it was really just as much as I was talking about how we communicated, that was the issue. It was like, it was kind of like it wasn't enough.
But it wasn't on our part, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't on our part. It just wasn't enough for us. Like, she has a very, very stressful job. You know what she does for a living. It's very high stress.
And she had some things going on in her life at that time as well.
Yes. And she had some things, personal family things going on in her life. And I feel like really between the family things that she was going through and her job, that was...
she let it overwhelm her.
Yeah, she let it overwhelm her. And it kind of like affected a lot of things. So like she would just shut down.
So, like, you would try to call her and, like, she wouldn't pick the phone up. Or it would be, like, weeks before we heard from her again.
Yeah, or, like, she would call and she'd be, like, upset and crying about her job. And, you know, just... a lot of our conversation was about her job.
Yeah.
You know, it was very... it's something that I wouldn't be able to do. Like, I can't handle a high-stress job like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's not my personality to, you know, be stressed out every day and then go through all that kind of stuff. That's not me. I'm a very laid back, chill.
And she lived a while away. So I think that was another issue. If she lived closer or she lived in the same area we did, I think it would be a little bit different as well.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's what pretty much happened with that situation. But like I said, she's a great friend. She'll hit us up even now. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, her career was a big worry of mine because if this is what you're going to continue to do, because she was talking about, you know, relocating, and she's still relocating, right?
Yeah, her idea is still to move over here.
Yeah, she's still moving closer to us.
Right.
So,
because this is where she wanted to be anyway.
Yeah, this is where she wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like, in our area.
Yeah.
So, she's still in the process of doing that. I think she said by the beginning of next year she should be down here.
I think so too.
But yeah, her career was like kind of what worried me because it's like, yo, is this what we would have to, you know, go through being in a relationship with her, you know what I mean? And no matter how much I tried to give advice or try to walk her through it and be there for her, it's a high stress career. Yeah. Put it that way. And that's pretty much what happened with that second situation. So for our third relationship, I would like to say third time was a charm. It was, you know, now with her, we met her in, was it SeaWorld or Disney? Mm-hmm. Disney World. Yeah. I met her there. She was with her family. She had her daughter, and she was with her mother and her, I don't know who else that was. Yeah, a couple other family members. But yeah, so, you know, I met her there. I caught her, looking at me a few times. She kept looking back at me. I kept looking back at her. You know what I mean? Your boy, your boy went over there and used his natural charm. You know what I mean? I had to, I think I exfoliated that day. Something was going on, but yeah.
You was glowing out there.
I was glowing. You know what I mean? She was feeling your boy.
Right.
So, with that, we exchanged phone numbers, and the sad part was, I'm thinking like, all right, see, this is what I forget. I forget that, like, when you go to these places, SeaWorld, Disney World, whatever, like, a lot of times when you meet people, they're from everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm in the mind state of, because we live local, close by.
You live close by.
Yeah, that you live close by, right? She lives in a whole nother country.
Right.
So I'm like, damn.
Right.
But I didn't know that, like, when she gave me her number,
right.
I was like, why is there an extra digit? There's like a plus,
right.
not, you know what I mean? A extra digit. I was like, all right. So I'm thinking it's a, I'm like, it's a fake number. But, I hit her up. And actually, she called me. She called me, and, we talked, and I think we're on the phone all night like kids. And, we went from there. Now that's, this situation here, it got interesting. So she actually, everything happened. She committed to us. We went through the whole ceremony. She changed her last name to ours. Mm-hmm. She moved in. Mm-hmm. The part that she also had a kid, so her kid moved in with us, so everything was good there. The part where we started having issues is that she wanted, like, her family to be closer because her family still lived in, their country. So she wanted her mom to be here. Mm-hmm. And they already had their, visa and, all that stuff. Like, they already had all that stuff, already figured out. Everyone had that because, like I said, we met them at an amusement park, right? So she wanted her mom here. Mm. And I'm a firm believer in family. So I was like, all right, cool. You want your mom here. I talked to Ray. Ray, she thought it would be a good situation. So she's like, all right, extra help anyway, right?
Right.
So we agreed to the mom moving here, and everything was cool with that. So I want to say it was like 2 months out when her mom was supposed to move here. She was talking about her sister moving here. So I'm like, how old is your sister? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it's like a little girl. She said her sister's 28 years old.
Right.
I said, nah, listen.
You wasn't with it?
Yeah, I'm not. Listen, I was not. I wasn't even going to approach her with it because it was just, at this point, it was too much. So, right. She's here. Her daughter's here, of course, which we didn't have an issue with. And we even agreed to her mother moving in with us. Right. But then it's like the sister, and then we don't know who else next. Right. I'm like, nah. I said, yo, look. I told her, I said, I can't. We're not going to be able to do this. Mm-hmm. And, she worked, I'm the breadwinner in our family, but she worked part-time, and she was also going to school. Right. Or she planned on going to school. So, for her field and her career. And it just got to a situation where I wasn't willing to have the whole family come live with me. Mm-hmm. And
she was homesick.
Yeah, she was like really, really, really homesick. And that's how she ended up going back over there. Right. So there goes that, right? Mm-hmm. So we suggested, because it got to the point where she was just like, it seemed like she was here, but she wasn't. Right. Like she was really stressed out. And I'm the kind of person, I don't want to say I'm always happy. I'm peaceful, put it that way. I'm always at peace with everything, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I could have the worst day in the world, and I'm still going to be at peace, because that's just me. Mm-hmm. But she was like, it got to the point where she was like depressed, and like she wouldn't get out of bed, and it just got bad. So we suggested that she go visit home and everything like that. And, her and her daughter. So she went and visited home, She was there for like 3 weeks. She was there for like almost a month, really. So she went back, and I'm thinking, all right, cool. She's coming back, and we'll have her back. So she came back. Everything was good. Like, she was back to herself, happy, getting back into the swing of things. Everything was good. And, you know, she just broke down crying and was saying how, you know, she really wants her sister here with her and everything like that. Now we're closer to her mom moving. Like, her mom's like maybe less than a month away, a month away from coming out here. And she was like real hell bent on her sister getting here. And it got to the point where she even like, we're getting arguments about this, like, because she never was like nasty about it. You know, she was just expressing. And I feel like by agreeing to her mom to come here, that was, what would you call it?
It's already a compromise.
Yeah, it's a compromise. You know what I mean? It was a big compromise. So, you know, your mom's here. Like, that's, you know, that's mom. Like,
right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Deeper than
That's
that.
there. But,
yeah.
And then, like, I would hear her and her sister talking on the phone, and she's like, what did they say? What did they say? What did they say? And then I feel like she just had a lot of pressure from her sister.
Yeah.
And knowing that, like, I'm not budging.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like I said, Ray knew about it, but I didn't even talk to her too much about it because I'm like, at this point, I'm not allowing this to happen. This is not happening. So, you know, like, it got, you know, we're just getting arguments, and like Ray would be first to tell you, I'm not the type of person, like, I'm not sitting around arguing with nobody all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean we can't talk about our issues, but when it gets to the point where we're like going back and forth and like you're getting nasty with me and attitudes and all that, I'm not with it.
Right.
So, you know, I was like, look, I got to the point where I got tired of it. I was like, yo, look, if you don't understand what, you know, no means, like she's not coming, then, you know, you're more than welcome to go back over there. And I guess she took that as me telling her to leave or whatever. Either way,
right.
She packed her stuff up, and, you know, I did try to talk her out of it because at this point, like, we're here. Our kids are used to her. Yeah, and you know, we were in. Right. We were locked in. You know what I mean? So I did try to convince her to change her mind, but, you know, it was what it was. I guess whatever bond her and her sister had was stronger than anything. I guess even Mama's. Right. Because, like I said, her mom was already planning to come. You know what I mean? And I guess that still wasn't enough. Her daughter was here, and, you know, none of that was enough. She was hell bent on her sister getting here, and it wasn't gonna happen. So she packed her stuff up. We tried to talk to her. Ray tried to talk to her, and there was no getting through to her. So she checked up the deuces. You know, we said our goodbyes, and that was that. Right. Now she has recently started communicating with us again, but I'm at the point where the past is the past. You know what I mean? Like, I moved on from that, and, you know, she wants to come back, and, you know, she wanted her daughter and her mom to come stay here, and it's like, at this point, like, we're done with that now. Right. But God bless you if you see this. Right. You know, God bless you. So moving on to where we at now, like our current situation. Now, we've had other, like, little, you know. Yeah, I talked to many of women. Yeah. You know, but I'm just like highlighting these 4. Yeah. So fast forward to our current situation. Because
that's a question everybody has too.
Yeah, what is our current situation? So,
or just like, okay, well, you talk about polygyny, but you only have one wife. So let's get down to the meat and potatoes of what it is.
Right. Yeah, so I had 2. I had 1, 2. Now I'm back down to 1, and I'm currently
looking for
4.
2. Yeah, looking for another one.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. Like, it's not going to stop. Right. Now, back to our current situation. So for our current situation, it's I don't know. I don't think it's going to work, but, you know, it might.
So you're talking to somebody, courting somebody, and why don't you think it's going to work?
Why don't you think? Now, I'll say why I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work because, like, her whole thing right now is she doesn't know how it's going to be accepted by her friends and family.
Right.
So we've been talking for the past 5 months, and her friends and family don't know. And, like, she's really, you know, we're vibing. We're feeling each other. We went on dates. She's met, you know, they like each other. They talk. I actually, you know, I asked her, you know, like, how do you think this thing is going? And she said that, you know, she likes how everything is going. And because I talked to Ray, and I was thinking about, you know, proposing to this woman until recently. At one point in time, I was thinking about proposing to this woman.
Right.
And she's just like, I don't know what people are going to think. Like, and she said she has tried to hint to some of her friends and I guess family members. And like, by asking like how they, you know, would they do it or how they feel, whatever. And they're like, oh, totally not. There's no way.
Right.
There's no, and it's like, for her, it makes sense. It's logical to her. It makes sense to her. But her whole thing is, I guess, just facing her friends and family.
Yeah, she just doesn't want to be an outcast, I imagine.
Yeah. What do you think? You think it could work still? Or?
No. That's the thing. It's hard because a lot of people don't. Oh, this is a rough one. A lot of people don't discuss it. So even people who are interested, we get comments and emails all the time. Where do you meet people who are interested? We don't. It's hard because nobody's out in the open, and the same thing is for us too. So if nobody's out in the open, then you're kind of just meeting people and seeing if they'll go for it. And that's the hard part for me, because I'm like, although it's cool to have patience with people, right? Everybody needs patience. I don't want to have to baby walk nobody through it. Somebody who doesn't know anything about it or who's never had an experience. And you don't necessarily have to have an experience, but you have to be open-minded and open to it, right? And not like, this is a lifestyle. I mean, even in your 30s, I'm in my 30s now. I don't care what anybody has to think about me anymore, you know? In my early 20s, I was concerned with that. Now I'm in my 30s, and I could care less what people think about me, as long as I'm happy and my children are happy and everybody's safe and everything is good. You know, I'm comfortable. I don't have to have everybody's approval of what I'm doing. So that's the hard thing about this. If you're looking for everybody's approval and you want to get involved in this type of situation, it's not going to work for you, because you're not going to be able to make everybody happy.
Yeah,
you have to make you happy.
Everyone doesn't understand it, and like I said, everyone has their like preconceived notions about it. Oh, it's this or it's that.
And I like to you can give people, oh, well, it's good because of this, it's good because of that, it's good because of that. But if they're not interested, then they're just not interested. If they're not with it, then they're just not with it. You can't convince anybody otherwise.
Yeah, like.
So I'm not interested in trying to convince anybody, especially other people's family members. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like, even like some of our viewers, you know, like, they want us to tell them their why. Like, no. Why should, and I can't tell you your why for anything. Like, I can't tell you your why for life or religion or anything. Like, I can't do that for you. You have to find your own reasons and your own whatever, you know what I mean?
Or not do it.
Yeah, or not do it. Like, this is the thing about us. Like, we're not pushing this lifestyle on anyone, and I'm not into doing that, including women that I'm dating or courting, whatever,
that you
right?
meet, yeah.
Like, I don't try to push. I don't push anything, like, either this, you know, I'm honest, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're trying to do. Either you and yeah. Like, simple as that.
And that's it.
And it's just, and then outside of these highlights that we sent, like, that we put it here, it's just the dating pool is different now. So, like, 9-10 years ago, like, when we first met, things are different now. Like, people's mindsets, you know, I guess men and women's mindsets are different.
Yeah.
And it's just different.
And it's hard to find people going off of that, and I don't want to go on and on and on. But we're also in a situation where everybody is selfish. And when you get involved in polygyny, it's not about you. It's about your family altogether, you know? That's the only way family really works, I think. That's why it's hard for two people to work in a relationship together, because everybody is selfish. She wants it her way and he wants it his way. Nobody wants to come together. So when you have 3 people or 4 people or 5 adults trying to come together, you have to be family oriented. You have to be not selfless, but you can't be all about yourself.
Right.
It's just not going to work. So that's another issue you have when you get involved with polygyny, but that's besides the point.
Right. And you'll just get people sometimes also, like when you're out here, that they feel like because you're trying to talk to them, that there must be an issue with your wife or with your relationship, right?
Right.
That you're already in. And no, like we don't have, I'm not going to say like our relationship is perfect, but it's damn near.
We don't have major issues.
Yeah, like it's out of all the relationships I've ever been in, this is the closest thing to perfect that I've
But I don't want to say that without the but, because it took us a long time to get here.
Yeah, it
wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't.
It was actual work that was put into it. So I don't want to say, oh, it's so good now, but it wasn't always this way.
Yeah, it wasn't always this way, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You just get people that come in and they feel like they're fixing something in your relationship. Like, no, our relationship is good.
Right.
Everything is good. Like, I'm not trying to be too, put our business out there, but everything is good. Like, we don't sit around and fight and argue. There's nothing that's missing. We're not trying to spice nothing up. Our sex life is good.
We take care of our kids well without another person. All that is all good.
Everything is good. So. Like, we're not in any type of financial trouble or anything like that. Like, we're good.
Because that's what you always hear too. Oh, they must need somebody to help
with
their kids, or they need
yeah.
help with money. Like we're already doing this.
Yeah, yeah, we're already good.
Everything's working out fine.
So you get a lot of people that feel like they're coming in to fix something. So like they just go about it a different way, or they want to come in and change like our relationship or how we're doing things. Like I've had someone question my manhood, I guess, because I wanted to get my wife's input.
Yeah.
On something like.
yeah, right, right, yeah. So.
And it's like, yo, look, I'm a man, but I always consult with my wife before I make any major decisions.
Right.
And so this is just our experience courting.
Couple highlights.
And our highlights.
Yeah.
And please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.